Welcome back to Apex Investor. This is one of the most important videos I will do on Rich Tech Robotics. And this is some real DD, not that other videos weren't real DD, but this is more of a where you do your due diligence, you do your research, you do your homework, and this is what we're doing in regards to ghost kitchens. This article is from 2021, but it shows just how prevalent they are. So let's just read it together. It says, eyeing the rise in virtual restaurants, Walmart Canada partners with ghost kitchens to bring food to customers. Retail giant, let me just try to get my tongue together here. Retail giant allies with ghost kitchen brands, letting shoppers order from wide array of eatery menus. So this is about a year into the pandemic, the lockdowns. We see a picture of a worker preparing food at a ghost kitchen's location in Midtown. That's in December of 2020 in Toronto. Walmart Canada is expanding into the restaurant industry, the virtual kind at least. On Monday, the company became the latest to embrace the virtual kitchen trend, partnering with ghost kitchen brands to offer food delivery to customers at its location in St. Catharines, Ontario, the first of many to come. Ghost Kitchen, which is a virtual restaurant concept founded by George Cottas, is at the forefront of a new trend in food service that's grown in popularity in recent years. Out of a single kitchen, customers can order from menus of over 20 food companies prepared by just two to four employees. The kitchens, which rarely have seating areas or storefronts, rely almost exclusively on delivery apps to bring customers their meals. The partnership is a first for Ghost Kitchen Brands, which has opened 25 locations across the country over the past 2 years. So that's 25 in Canada only. We've been looking for partners who can offer us high visibility and a high amount of foot traffic, said the president, Mark Choi. That's the Canadian president. The alliance represents Canadian president of Ghost Kitchens, not the president of the country. The alliance represents the merging of two one-stop shop concepts. Walmart is increasingly a catch-all for customer needs, offering everything from clothing to groceries, while Ghost Kitchen Brands lets customers order from a wide range of popular fast food companies. Quiznos, The Cheesecake Factory, you didn't know that one, Taco Del Mar, Lola's Latin Food, Ben & Jerry's, and more. The new concept will let customers order freshly prepared meals. I'm going to just pause here. So if these companies are jumping on the bandwagon, you can expect virtually every no pun intended, virtually every fast food company in existence to jump on this bandwagon. I think that's what's going to happen. So the new concept will let customers order freshly prepared meals, which they can either pick up in person or order for delivery while shopping in store. In the coming months, Walmart plans on adding more Ghost Kitchen locations at its stores in Woodstock, Toronto, La Chênaie in Quebec, and Saint Constant, Quebec, before expanding to more spots across North America. We believe in Ghost Kitchen strategy and vision, and we're very excited to be the first retailer to join forces with them, said Sam Hammam, Senior Director of Licensees at Walmart Canada. Ghost Kitchens is one of many companies that have bundled together established brands and offer delivery through apps like Uber Eats or Skip the Dishes. Recipe Unlimited, a restaurant company owning more than a dozen of Canada's biggest chains, launched a virtual restaurant concept called Ultimate Kitchens in March. Its chair, Paul Rivet, is also chair of Torstar, which owns Toronto Star. So a little bit of a conflict of interest, isn't there, article writer? The Etobicoke-based Kitchen Hub, launched in January 2020, calls itself a virtual food hall that pulls together menus from Toronto restaurants like Fresh, the Carbon Bar, and Pai Northern Thai Kitchen. Okay. As the trend grows, Ghost Kitchen Brands has made no secret of its ambitions. Our goal is to open a ghost kitchen every 12 kilometers across Canada, said Choi. We want to be able to reach every Canadian in every urban market within 30 minutes, 24/7. So that's it for that article. Yeah, they have great potential. I'm going to kind of play devil's advocate here and say, well, fast food is good in terms of convenience, in terms of pricing, but I feel like a lot more people are turning towards grocery and eating out less. That's my impression. I could be wrong. Now, the following is from USA Today. So we got the Canadian point of view, and this is the American perspective. And this is only from a year ago, October 17th. Ever heard of ghost kitchens? These virtual restaurants are changing the delivery industry. Let's just hit some highlights here. Okay, the popularity of food delivery services skyrocketed during COVID-19. It grew 162% in April 2020. But I could say the same thing about Zoom. Zoom was an incredible stock, went up to like $300. Now it's not to that level anymore. It's not the same. Let's keep reading. The growth and popularity of these apps during the pandemic also grew the number of ghost kitchens. What exactly is a ghost kitchen? Dig into the reality of ghost kitchens and how they work. So what is a ghost kitchen? A ghost kitchen, also known as a dark kitchen or cloud kitchen, is a digital-only restaurant that is available only on food delivery apps like Postmates, Uber Eats, and Grubhub. These kitchens only offer food items and drinks from online brands, cutting out the storefront and human interaction of traditional eateries. In other words, you don't have to pay tip for one. Cooks from existing restaurants or kitchen-only spaces prepare food items marketed from another brand that is exclusively sold through third-party food delivery apps. How do they work? Food from these kitchens can only be received through delivery services, which means that customers will not be able to visit a store front in person. You can't go there and take out. You have to only order through the apps. However, the physical kitchen does exist in order to make the products. Most commonly, ghost kitchen companies may operate out of existing chain or independent restaurants that want to make extra revenue. Ghost kitchen brands can partner with hundreds of established kitchens across the U.S. to produce and distribute their products. In exchange, the partners get a small cut of the profit made from the delivery, so they get a commission. Mr. Beast Burger is one example. Donaldson's brand opened 300 locations around the U.S. In its first week, none of the 300 locations were branded as Mr. Beast Burger restaurants, but rather 300 locations where Mr. Beast Burger food is produced. So that's one way to expand without actually building the building. The burgers and fries were cooked in commercial kitchens of chain restaurants such as Buca di Beppo and Bertucci's. Restaurant Business Magazine reports. On the third-party delivery apps that offer food from ghost kitchens, it will not list the restaurant where the food is made. So you have a bit of privacy there. Anonymity. The Ghost Kitchen brand is listed so customers can order from the exclusive menu from the digital brand. So how to start a ghost kitchen? These digital-only restaurants are started by small business owners, entrepreneurs, established chains, and influencers, I think that's a typo, for different reasons. Some use ghost kitchens as a cheaper means of starting their own restaurant, while others make ghost kitchens to create extra revenue for their existing business. According to B. Marco Structures, the median construction cost to start a traditional restaurant is around $200,000. That's US dollars. With a ghost kitchen, that price is cut by around 50 to 60%. So you're looking at less than $100,000. So that's very, very attractive. That's a very attractive prospect. Some may consider renting or purchasing a shipping container kitchen with appliances installed to be the main house of operations for the ghost kitchen. Toast, one of the leading point of sale systems, I'm glad they put that in there. I wouldn't know what that stood for. I was going to say something else that would be censored. In the US, outlines the basic necessities to start a ghost kitchen after deciding the concept, hypothetical menu, and business model. Starting to obtain the same licenses and permits asked of restaurants, traditional restaurants, is the first important step. Okay, that's a typo too. Asked of traditional restaurants, not restaurants, traditional restaurants. Here's a list of some of the documents likely required to operate as a food service: business license, food service license, employee health permit, seller's permit, zoning permit. After these documents are obtained, you may consider where you want to produce and distribute the food. Here are some kitchen options that Toast outlines as popular spaces for ghost kitchens operations. Shared kitchens. This is a licensed and inspected commercial kitchen that is available for rent by the hour, day, week, or month. Dark kitchens. Kitchen-only spaces that do not accommodate dine-in customers and focus only on preparing delivery only food. So that is why with Rich Tech, they have another robot coming out called the Scorpion, and to me it looks like a more simplified, less charming, more portable version of Adam. So in the cases where you have a dark kitchen where people cannot see the restaurant or how things are being done there, a Scorpion robot is a lot more, makes more sense, and it probably is cheaper than the Adam as well. I'm just going to assume that it's cheaper. It's a lot smaller, it's more compact, so yeah, less parts, right? But for the shared kitchen that possibly could be visited, for example, we have the Walmart ghost kitchens, so people can actually see, they can visit, see how their food is made, then Adam makes more sense in those situations. If you're looking for more guidance, how to start your ghost kitchen, blah, blah, blah. Okay, just curious for more. Okay, so that's it for that one. We're going to read one more article from Yahoo Finance that was written this year, August 10th, only 10 days ago. Ghost kitchens and virtual restaurants, elusive extensions of Spokane kitchens spurred by pandemic, continue boosting business. So I thought, okay, Zoom has gone down in terms of its stock price, but this has gone the other way. It's actually seeing a rise in the demand, because we look at Uber Eats, Skip the Dishes, and so on. That explains why this is popular, isn't it? Next time, also I want to add that car insurance and the price for automobiles and the price of gas, it's a lot more convenient, it's a lot more cheaper when you do the math and you just take into account car insurance just for one. So next time you order food online, it might come from a restaurant you've never had the chance to visit. In the case of ghost kitchens, you never will. A ghost kitchen is set up to employ as much of a brick and mortar restaurant's resources as possible. The pre-existing restaurant supplies, storage space, and employees are used to make online orders for the virtual restaurant. Sean O'Donnell's Irish Pub and American Grill owner Chase Van Cotham said, "Food services at Van Cotham's restaurant just north of the Monroe Street Bridge follow a traditional model. You can dine in or order online. But for Molly's Garden, the only option is delivery, yet the food is prepared in the same kitchen by the same staff and under the same license as the food from O'Donnell's." Van Cotham said the setup can cause confusion. So that's the other one. Skip the Dishes, Uber Eats, and DoorDash. We have DoorDash drivers who come in. "Is this Molly's Garden?" "Yeah," Van Cotham said. He responds, "And I kind of explained the story of it. We have a little sign next to the door. It says Molly's Garden." Okay, business benefits. Van Cotham sees ghost kitchens and virtual concepts as a successful way of expanding restaurants. By renting out kitchens and selling with an online presence, Van Cotham said, I'm just going to call them VC. It's a little hard to say in Gotham. VC said restaurants can try a concept in a new location without the risk of losing a huge investment. A ghost kitchen could either serve food from a separate branch of an existing restaurant with an exclusive online menu, or from a completely different business. In the case of Molly's Garden, the food is made in O'Donnell's yet sold online under a different name. There aren't any exclusively virtual restaurants in Spokane renting kitchens to test their concept. Instead, businesses like O'Donnell's, Denny's, and the Eat Good Group are extending their services by creating new concepts that exist only online. That's the model that Brian Predmore, manager of 3 Denny's locations, including one on Division Street in Spokane, leaned into. They're all just virtual kitchens inside of our kitchen, Predmore said, describing the online-only Burger Den and Meltdown. The Burger Den pretty much offers the same burgers that are on our menu, just with a different name. Some of them might have a little different twist to them. Meltdown is the same way. They might not even know it's a Denny's restaurant, Predmore said. Some national chain virtual restaurants such as Mr. Beast Burger and Hot Ones operate almost entirely out of other companies' kitchens. They've both tried to set up their virtual brand based out of local restaurants but have struggled to find a host kitchen, VC said. Adam Hegstead, the owner of Eat Good Group, said that several years ago Mr. Beast Burger requested to set up a ghost kitchen in a restaurant owned by his company, Eat Good Group. Eat Good Group is a collection of 8 restaurants in Spokane and its surrounding areas. I'm just going to make a note here to say what I'm going to say next after this article. Hegstead said he did not want to take on a ghost kitchen from a separate company. I didn't feel like it was right for what we do. We try to make everything from scratch and keep it really authentic, and it would feel weird to just buy some pre-made stuff and cook it and throw it out there. But Hegstead wasn't against the idea of a ghost kitchen if it could serve food from an Eat Good Group restaurant. In 2019, a technology campus in Liberty Lake, Incrediburger and Eggs, which also had a physical location in downtown Spokane, started a ghost kitchen out of a cafe also owned by Eat Good Group. This gave the company more control over the quality of the food. We got pretty good traction when we had Incrediburger. That was up until 2020, when Hegstead said everyone stopped going to work and instead worked remotely. We shut it down because our regular operation wasn't running because of COVID, and so there just wasn't enough business to keep it going. Incrediburger and Eggs' newfound virtual-only kitchen wasn't strong enough to survive on its own. Yet since then, Hegstead said everyone went crazy with delivery and DoorDash and all those things. We may end up going back at some point. He explained how DoorDash and Grubhub have grown in popularity enough for this virtual strategy to work again. So there's life after the lockdowns for these kinds of virtual kitchens and delivery services. National chains. Earlier in the summer, Hot Ones, a food show and virtual restaurant brand that offers spicy wings, sandwiches, and hot sauces for delivery, reached out to VC wanting to use O'Donnell's as a host for their ghost kitchen. They called a few weeks ago saying, "Hey, we're coming up with a brand of chicken wings and boneless chicken. Do you want to host a virtual brand for that?" VC said. Just as Hegstead was opposed to preparing food for a separate company, VC didn't think the idea would be right for O'Donnell's. "I just don't have a passion for someone else's concept. I'd rather do my own. I like the food that we do." 2 more virtual restaurants in Spokane are Meltdown and the Burger Den, both of which are ghost kitchens owned and operated by Denny's. Because these 2 virtual restaurants have been so successful, Denny's will soon be starting its 3rd online-only virtual restaurant under the name Banda Burrito, Pandemic Trends. Predmore said these virtual restaurants have been an effective pivot toward the online market, especially during COVID. That's the only way we survived. During COVID, virtual restaurants were the solution to customers staying at home. It was something we came out with when COVID happened in order to try to generate more sales into the restaurant because you couldn't get people in the seats. I'm not going to say, well, okay, butts in the seats. So we had to get butts coming to the door to get the orders. VC said a lot of restaurants created some sort of virtual extension of what they were already doing to stay afloat during COVID. We had all sorts of virtual concepts where in-house brands were just having to adapt. Logistics. These adaptations spanned from a new sales model to a new internal company structure, adding ingredients and drivers along with leveraging existing employees. If the workload gets too heavy, more storage space or employees might become needed, and I think that's where Rich Tech Robots come in. But VC specified that there aren't separate employees who make food for the online restaurant. Rather, the same chefs and staff add some extra recipes to their repertoires. Interesting. So we can possibly see how Rich Tech Robotics, they're going to have robots making all the food, and that will lead to less room for error. You're going to see a lot less mistakes. Often, this additional work going into virtual orders is exactly... Okay, why did that happen? Is exactly what the pre-existing restaurant needs to have a balanced workflow. You're not always busy, so you got to have something else for your staff to do. And in this case, we won't have any staff. It's just going to be robots. That's the best thing about it, is it helps offset labor costs, and that's another thing Rich Tech will do. Because you've already got the employee standing there. They're not cooking for a guest inside the restaurant. Might as well cook for an online guest. While it may be a hassle for staff to memorize recipes for an additional menu, Predmore explained that Banda Burrito will primarily use ingredients that are already in the Denny's kitchen. We only have basically one new ingredient, which is the carne asada for the carne asada burrito. Everything else is already product that we have in the house. We just kind of repurposed it and made burritos out of it. Molly's Garden is able to repurpose most of the regular ingredients of O'Donnell's as well. A unique challenge of virtual restaurants is that they have to work hard to make sure that their food is even visible to someone scrolling through a delivery service's website. Predmore explained that restaurants with good ratings are usually at the top of the list, making it easier for customers to find them. If you're doing a poor job and missing items on orders and all that, your name's not going to be at the top. Your name's going to be at the bottom. We try to make sure to do a great job, and we've got great placement. Respect the drivers. Predmore explained that timeliness and quality are important boxes to check for online orders, but he also stressed the importance of treating the drivers who will be delivering the food, as well as if they were fellow employees of the restaurant. If you're going to make them wait for an order, offer them a cup of coffee, a glass of water, and that's where, I guess, Serve Robotics comes in the picture, because you don't have to offer the robot any food. Try to make sure the driver is taken care of. That's the one that's delivering the food, and that's important. And I could also expect, or we can also expect, not just the Serve robots delivering food, but self-driving cars in the future to deliver the food as well. Sometimes working with delivery services can have its challenges. Predmore explained that occasionally a DoorDash order might come in, but then no driver comes to pick it up. Okay, let's read that again. Sometimes working with delivery services can have its challenges. Predmore explained occasionally a DoorDash order might come in, but no driver comes to pick it up. Oh, that's just bad. Though Predmore thought about buying a van to solve this problem, he said that drivers from an external company are a better option. If I have an employee inside my four walls, I can control what the environment is like. What happens if I have a driver that's going out delivering food? I can't control traffic. I can't control any of that. So then that's some liability. Predmore added that delivery services are set up in a way that prevents the restaurant from losing money. The customer will call and cancel the order because there's no driver, but we still get paid. Interesting. Marketing benefits. Another benefit to using a third-party delivery service is that it allows for these virtual restaurants to be marketed as different from their brick-and-mortar counterparts on a delivery service's app or website. In fact, the increasingly complex business model of ghost kitchens is driven by its marketing benefits. People don't really think of an Irish pub for healthy food. He tells the story of Sean O'Donnell's daughter-in-law, Molly, and her desire to introduce more healthy options to the restaurant. She said, let's just come up with a virtual restaurant. We'll call it Molly's Garden, salads and wraps. We'll do healthy food online only. This is even before we heard the words ghost kitchen. In addition to the initial repackaging approach taken by Denny's, Predmore talked about Banda Burrito coming out hopefully by the end of the month. But the burritos are you can't get in the restaurant. That's strictly online. The whole idea is to try to get them to say, oh, this sounds good, I'm going to try this. It is to get the people's attention. Denny's is also using Banda Burrito as a test, as we see which ones of those sell. We'll probably take a few of those and incorporate them into our menu. This is something O'Donnell's has done. In Seattle, there's a lot of vegetarians and vegans, and so Molly's Garden, the virtual restaurant, some weeks will outsell Sean O'Donnell's on the delivery services, VC said. We have a couple of those items we've added to the O'Donnell's menu. For Denny's, Predmore doesn't want to just stop there. We will roll out another virtual restaurant, or will we roll out another? Probably. So what will it be? I'm thinking pasta. So he said that virtual concepts capitalize on the recent wave of online ordering. We've seen the growth in it over the last couple of years. It's just phenomenal. Predmore thinks that the convenience a model like this offers is great for busy college kids, and the robot's just going to make it even better for lowering the costs. Today's generation doesn't like coming in and sitting down at a restaurant. Denny's may be a special case since it's open 24/7, so virtual concepts keep revenue flowing through the restaurant all the time, especially at night. But he still thinks it would be a smart addition to many restaurants. Why most companies aren't doing it, why Red Robin did away with theirs, I couldn't tell you. Wouldn't make sense to me. They see a risk involved with it instead of seeing the future and where the future is going. Because it's going that way, you can't stop progress. Trust me, and I agree with him. But one caveat, I'm going to just bring up another point as a devil's advocate is, in the event of a blackout or EMP, shockwave, anything like that, where the electricity's gone, how are you going to run your restaurant when everything's robotic, right? That's going to be a big problem, potentially. Martin Mazet and Sophia Hessler's reporting as part of... Okay, that's it. So we're going to look at ghost kitchen brands, and before I get into this, we're going to just say that basically what ghost kitchens is, and I brought it up in the Yahoo Finance comment section, is they are going to do for restaurants and especially fast food what Netflix did for streaming video, movies and TV. It's going to revolutionize restaurants. It's going to revolutionize fast food. And best of all, Rich Tech Robotics is right in the middle of it. They are one of the drivers of ghost kitchens. So before we close this video, we're going to do a third video. It's going to be in the Short Squeeze post. I don't know when I'm going to post that. Later tonight, probably. Later this evening or tonight. But this is the website for ghost kitchens. You can see how this is not only is Uber Eats, DoorDash, and Skip the Dishes becoming more and more mainstream and more accepted. It's becoming more of the norm now. Ghost kitchens is part of that. It's a cog in this big machine of DoorDash and on all of those services, Uber Eats. It is an instrumental, very important key in making this machine work, so to speak. And then you have Rich Tech Robotics being another important cog of that. So basically, yeah, you order a variety of your favorite brands in one order. So when, because I don't think it's a matter of if, it's a matter of when McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, White Castle, actually White Castle's already part of this, but when these big companies, Taco Bell, KFC, they all join in, they jump the bandwagon, they join not just Uber Eats, not just DoorDash, because they already do those things, but when they jump on the Ghost Kitchen bandwagon and they offer their brands to be part of Ghost Kitchen brands, it's going to make not only Ghost Kitchens, but even Rich Tech Robotics is just going to explode. And we could see them reach $50, maybe $100. I mean, sky's the limit, basically. We really don't know until we get there. But that's the promise that this has. That's the potential this has. So you see those companies available on Uber Eats, Skip the Dishes, DoorDash. The three biggest companies that do delivery for food. Okay, enough said, basically, right? So again, I'm going to stick with what I just said. It is going to revolutionize restaurants and fast food in the same way that Netflix did for streaming. Look what happened to Blockbuster Video and all these mom and pop brick and mortar stores that rented out videos and such. They don't exist anymore for the most part. There's only like one left, just as a kind of like a heritage site. So we see About Us. What is their mission? To have a ghost kitchen open within every 12 kilometers. Endless food concepts available when, how, and where consumers want them, all within 30 minutes delivery. The Ghost Kitchen leadership team is comprised of restaurateurs, industry and franchise experts, as well as technology mavericks, serial entrepreneurs, and seasoned leaders in operations and marketing. The team is committed to delivering comfort and convenience to our customers and real value to our restaurant partners and brands. So those are the founder and CEO. So yeah, we're seeing explosive growth, obviously. And isn't that beautiful that Rich Tech Robotics is right in the thick of it? They are right in the thick of it. And you thought, the shorts thought they could make us believe it's worth 50 cents. Are you joking me? Are you absolutely kidding me? That is just such a joke. It is such a mockery of what is actually happening in reality. They don't live in reality. If you're going to just put that facade and say, okay, it's worth 50 cents. It's worth 33 cents. It's now worth 89 cents. Now it's worth $1.30. $1.30 is still a steal. $1.50 is still a steal. $2 is a steal. $5 is a steal. $10, now you're getting closer to what it's actually worth, because it should be up in the $10 to $50 price range per stock, per share. Okay, so let's just read this again. This is their goal, is to have a kitchen every 4 miles in every major city in North America. Countless concepts / menus to customers across the continent within 30 minutes. So I don't see this going away. I don't see it decreasing in terms of a potential market crash. I think this is only going to just stay steady and stay stable. People want their food. They want their fast food. And the food industry is very strong, especially grocery. So you have that kind of devil's advocate playing against this fast food. But if I don't know if there's a way to implement robots into the grocery store. I guess you could, potentially. That would be interesting. Then they would really monopolize every aspect of food besides farming, in a way. So that's all for this video. just to make sense of ghost kitchens. What do they do? What are they? What do they do? And why is it important? Because of their partnership with Rich Tech Robotics. We can expect a lot more good news coming in the future in regards to this partnership that they have with ghost kitchens and also with One Kitchen. They're just going to spread like wildfire all across the North American continent. We see the deal with Walmart. It's actually not just words on a screen. It's not just a contract. It's not just them saying things. They're actually following through, and they've become real. People are buying food from the ghost kitchens in those 2 locations that they opened in America. And so how many more left? 238 to go. And I don't think, you know what, that's only the start. It's one thing I didn't even realize. 240 locations is only the start. You can expect it to expand. You can expect an expansion of the deal to go from an initial, this is only the initial 240, the initial 240, we'll call it the basic skeleton. It's a starting point. You can expect this to expand to over 1,000 locations. And once that happens, throughout North America, 1,000 locations of ghost kitchens, you're going to see the Rich Tech Robotics stock explode to exponential heights. Okay, this is going to be like a fever dream, or not even fever dream. It's going to be a distant memory when the stock was at 50 cents, when it was at $1.50, when it was at $2 and $5. You're going to see it go to at least double digits into the 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and maybe even higher than that. Could get into the hundreds. I don't know. We have to just wait and see. But if you're not excited, then you probably don't have a pulse right now. So that's all for this video. We'll do another one on the short squeeze DD that was done. So look forward to that. Until next time, thank you for your time, and God bless you, and God bless your investments.